Hey guys, welcome back to your daily dose of Broodwar. It's been a while since I've casted a BISU game, BISU versus fantasy anyway, here on the channel, so I thought I would take a look and happened to stumble upon this replay here, as well as some more. I'm not going to say how many in this series, but we do have a series here today. We've got fantasy over on Neosylphid spawning in the center left. BISU down here in the bottom right. Now BISU's made it into the ASL once again. Fantasy, unfortunately, has not. He didn't try to qualify this season. A little bit unfortunate. I was hoping that he would give it a shot. I'm sure that he could make it in. He has been performing so well on ladder, as we've seen, bringing some really interesting styles, especially to the Terran versus Zerg matchup, which Zergs are even in the number of Zergs in the coming season of the ASL. I think it's total 10 Terran, 10 Zerg, and 8 Protoss who have qualified or been seeded into the ASL. So a lot of Zergs in there, equally a lot of Terrans, not as many Protoss. We need another Protoss Bonjour. That's why I'm really happy to see Rain participating once again. I've been looking for some Rain replays recently. Some recent Rain replays have been difficult to get my hands on though. If anyone's got the hookup, if anyone's found his ID or one of his new IDs on seawall.gg, hit me up. Let me know. I'd love to get a few replays from him. Recent replays, though, I'm talking about, guys. Don't go sending me, 2019 or 2018 or even 2009 replays. That's not what I'm looking for. So, if you got some recent replays, hit me up. For now, though, we're going to be watching this Protoss versus Terran here, and Fantasy has sent his SCV in the wrong direction. It's fine though, it's not that big of a deal here on Neosylphid. Only a 3-player map, so he is going to get in here and spot BISU out. He's going to get in here before we have a Dragoon out as well. That Dragoon is going to pop, and BISU hasn't scouted at all thus far, not at all. So just a Dragoon scout here for BISU, trying to get the moving shot on with this probe, trying to kill that as quickly as possible, and he does pick off that SCV, so nicely done. Nexus pop down here for BISU. Is going to start the second Dragoon right after that Nexus starts, so a very economic opening, not quite as economic as going for a Nexus first. But this is a more of a catch-all build, where you can do this build in any ladder game and you'll most likely be fine. You're just gonna have some early Dragoons out. You'll get the scout when it's totally necessary. You won't be able to put on the pressure here in the early game, and you can't really adapt to what the Terran player is doing. But you're gonna have some Dragoons. You're gonna have a reasonably early Nexus, and you're most likely not going to take any damage, so it's a nice middle of the road build. And BISU, I would say, probably has practiced this build quite a lot, knows the in and outs of this very well. It's definitely a ladder build is what I'll say. It's a ladder build for sure. You don't really see this too much in, say, the ASL like we were talking about earlier, just because it's not really that powerful, but it does give you defensive options and a reasonably fast Nexus. There are ways to punish it, but I don't think Fantasy has found a way to do that in this game. He's only gone for a single factory. We should have a starport somewhere. There it is. Starport here. We'll be popping out a tank shortly. A lack of a tank up until this point might make BISU a little bit concerned here. There's 2 vultures and now a tank coming out. We've got speed on the way. Another marine gonna hop into this bunker, so it is a little bit dangerous to try to dive on this. With 4 marines in there, you can deal a lot of damage. Only 3 dragoons, so we'll take 3 volleys, but the 4th dragoon is about to arrive. It'd be dangerous if Fantasy loses this tank, because he's not producing any further tanks behind this at all. He's gone for this drop ship. The moment it pops out, he's gonna send this across the map and try to deal damage, make up for all the repairing he's had to do all over here at the natural, which is quite a lot. A lot of repairing has gone down. He's thrown down some mines in his main preparation here for a potential drop that may be coming through. And indeed, there will be a Reaver, but it's not going to be for a little while. And all the Dragoons are still across the map here. Okay, we've actually got 2 here in the natural. That is very, very important. I think we're going to drop a couple of vultures here. And we'll drop another couple in the main base. That's what it's looking like to me anyway. Okay, 1 in the natural. Do as much damage as you can. Looks like just 2 probes will go down. 3 vultures in the main. Dropping some mines here. Trying to deal some damage at the front, but gonna be losing quite a few probes back at home. 3, 4, 5, 6 probes, 7 probes, 8 probes, 9, and more. That is some serious damage here. You can see starting to really add up. SCV count is actually ahead of the probe count at this point. Yeah, that is not a good place to be in. Fantasy has done a great job with this drop. I can't believe that BISU didn't sniff this out. We've been, you know, him harassing here for quite a while with only 1 tank defending and no siege, by the way. So not seeing that siege, you got to know that, you know, he must be going for those other upgrades. He must be going for speed and vulture speed and mines, right? Well, it's got to be a given that we're going to see those upgrades. Another drop heading out on the map. You may be able to get in here and deal some more damage as well. That would be a huge punish to the Protoss economy once again. Observer trying to make its way in here. Dropping at the front. He's kind of recognized that there's no second tank here. Okay, second tank does pop out, but the bunker here goes down. The Wraith is so powerful right now. Gonna pick off that shuttle, and with the shuttle going down, you can't actually push through here. Just send that SCV back home, bring the tank up, and the Reaver will never push through. Drop down here at the 3rd base. Gonna get a bunch of kills. Just needs to chase down these probes a little bit more efficiently. There's the micro here from Fantasy, and he picks off nearly every single probe. Can just transfer into the main as well if he wishes. Load up and go into the main. I think it's not a bad idea. Might as well. There's nothing down here right now except for 1 Reaver, which is building up some scarabs, but you can actually micro against that. You can bait one out and then hop back into the... Yeah, okay, he's just gonna hop in and try to run away here. Not the worst choice. Just gonna get into a tight little corner here. He will end up losing the shuttle, but it's definitely done its job. Fantasy gonna be feeling very nice now with his first armory coming up. That is the first, isn't it? Yes, it is. First armory, no upgrades so far, but he's gonna be moving out. Potentially taking a fight with the Dragoons, and Reaver here in the middle. This Reaver, the only one that is available right now for BISU to hold on against this push. And the Wraith has been healed back up. No target fire onto the Reaver here from Fantasy. And as the shuttle starts to go down, the Reaver will be dropped, dealing a bunch of damage to this tank. Picking that off, the Wraith will fall as well. Oh man, 8 HP on that shuttle. And it will push forward. Fantasy throwing away quite a lot and not getting much for it. A few Dragoons went down, but the Reaver stays alive. The shuttle stays alive as well. A lot of tanks were lost. Wraith was lost. A lot of vultures as well. So not too rosy a picture after that first push, although he did take a good advantage in the early game. May be able to snowball it if he gets some more bases up here. But he needs to take his time. First upgrades coming up here. Needs to continue the harassment as well. Try his best to get in there and kill some more probes as he's expanding out. I don't think he'll be able to do any sort of attack here in the near future. Just gonna have to focus on macroing into this late game. 2 Reavers haven't been sent in. This is a pretty well defended base. With the Wraith being rebuilt, it will be hard to get in there. And the shuttle's gonna get shut down very, very quickly. So BISU right now just focusing on the defense. He's gonna be transferring probes soon, so I want to make sure those make it to that 4th base successfully, safely, as cannons now up at each location. So these small vulture raids aren't going to be able to do much, at least for the time being. Dragoons moving around the top side. Going to be clearing out some mines here. There's actually not enough tank coverage up here towards this extra base, and he's going to lose the command center potentially if he doesn't start to finish it off right here, right now. He needs to finish this and lift it off. Good job splitting up those vultures a little bit, but the Reavers get some pretty decent hits. Now it looks like both the Reavers are going to go down, losing quite a few of those vultures, but Reavers being traded out, I think that's a worthwhile trade for Fantasy. Trading about 7-8 vultures for 2 Reavers and a shuttle. I still think it's fine. Fantasy going to be able to move forward a little bit less cautiously here with those Reavers being eliminated from the game. I doubt we'll see any additional Reavers as we're starting to get Stargate and Templar archives coming up. That means we're going to be seeing some Arbiter tech here pretty soon out of... Oh, wait. Also on air weapons. Uh-oh. Are we going carriers here? Are we going carrier and Templar at the same time? It's a little optimistic, don't you think? BISU, I feel like that's not going to be tenable here with only 3 gas. This gas is probably getting kind of low. No, it's only 13 minutes in. What am I saying? 3 gas still, not a whole lot. Maybe not enough to go for both carrier and those Templar as well. Now pushing forward here, getting some nice zealot bombs on top of all these tanks. Doing a great job of clearing out a lot of this. Really reducing that tank count right now. Pushing forward even further. He's going to try and pick off as many of these tanks as he can before backing away. Last tank going to siege up here. The goons are getting a bit low, so he will be backing off at least for now. But a reasonable trade there for BISU. Getting rid of quite a few of these tanks. Trading them off for not too many Dragoons. Mostly Zealots were lost in that fight. Zealots and Shuttles are what were traded out. So now he's going to be feeling good about that. Buying some extra time. Look at this. He's going for Storm and Carrier at the same time. I feel like as the Terran player, you have to get out here and punish this. There's no way you should be letting your opponent go for both of these techs and get away with it. 2 Stargate Carrier. I haven't seen the upgrade for capacity, interceptor capacity yet, but I guess it doesn't matter until the carriers are actually out. Another Stargate going down. This is mad. And he's starting to push out a little bit forward. I wanted to see if he had scouted that yet or not, but I'm not 100% sure. We've heard some scans go down, but I haven't really been checking on that. It seems, though, that he doesn't know about this. We've only seen vultures hitting the field. Okay, 5 Goliaths are on the way, so he must know about it now. getting prepared for that transition. Getting down here and trying to take out this base on high ground. It looks like he will be able to do so. Eliminating that is a step in the right direction, but it's not damaging BISU that much. And he's going to get a nice pull there. Oh, that mine didn't actually connect. Good use of the vultures to shut that down. We're only on +1. +1 attack for this ground army from Terran. He is a bit behind in that regard. Looks like he lost a vessel there. I'm not sure what that was doing. Coming in for another attack here. A lot of units bashing their way through this tank line. Tons of goons down here on the bottom side. The zealots are starting to run out. We haven't seen a storm just yet. I guess there wasn't enough energy to do so. And a few Goliaths coming up here now, but Dragoons are very good against Goliath. Nice pick off on that shuttle, and he's gonna get 2 observers for that trade as well. So not bad for Fantasy. However, the 5th base is up once again, and we are starting to get into a bit of a ridiculous carrier count here for BISU. BISU looking very, very good with that carrier count rising. In addition, having those Templar out. So it is a very scary transition to go for both carrier and Templar. But if you make it through and you still have enough bases left to produce, this is probably the best composition you could possibly hope for. Carrier plus Templar is a dirty, deadly composition. Gonna come in here and start to fight with the carriers, and whenever the Goliaths move forward to attempt to snipe those carriers, Templar with storms are gonna come down on them. They were gonna deal so much damage. Oh, running forward, he actually snipes the Templar before this engagement. Very nicely done. Picking off early Templar here, picking off the Templar early before they can get their storms on the Goliaths makes a huge difference. But now the Goliaths are kind of fighting directly with the Zealots and Dragoons, which is not a good look. More Templar have arrived here at the fight. They have the energy for storm, but they're not in range to drop that ability. The base gonna finish up down here in the bottom left. BISU gonna rotate towards the main base now, looking for some damage here. Going after some turrets. Gonna start to pick off a few supply depots here and there. There are quite a few spaces for the Goliaths to walk through all this. They're not really clumped up supply depots, which can be a real hassle to try and get into your main base against a carrier if that's the situation. But he's not too clumped up right now, so he can get these Goliaths in here. Can he track them down and actually kill them? That is the problem here. That is the issue. That on Neo Sylphid, the back of the Terran main in these positions is facing towards the Protoss, and the Protoss can easily switch between attacking your buildings and defending your army attacking them. If you're attacking down towards this base, it's so easy to just switch back and forth between I'm killing your buildings, I'm defending your army very, very quickly. It'll probably be up to Fantasy to kind of realize this and set up mines here and then go for an attack into the center right. That'll force the carriers into a different position, somewhere that's a little bit harder for them to defend. But moving tanks forward here isn't going to get him too much. We've got a lot of carriers now, 7 carriers in this group. Not a lot of Goliaths, man. This is looking pretty dire here for our Terran player. A lot of these probes are gonna go, a lot of these SCVs are gonna fall to some of these storms. Right, goons are shoving forward. The command center is likely to get targeted here, and it looks like it will. Command center goes down. We do have a base up in the top left, so we're not out of mining right now from Fantasy, but his economy is a little bit in shambles. And all of his tanks haven't picked off. I heard a carrier go down, but man, there's really not too much left for Fantasy on the ground army front. He's mostly filled up with Goliath here and dropping to just 83 supply. I think that BISU's got this very close at the moment. He's got +2 attack, +3 is on the way. We've also got plasma shields coming up here shortly. He's going to start to hit some of these factories in the main. There's just not enough Goliaths to deal with that, and GG is called. Fantasy taps out, and BISU takes game number 1 in convincing fashion. And guys, I want to let you know that this is a very recent game. This is in June of 2023, so Fantasy sitting there at about 2700 MMR. He is very, very powerful on the ladder right now, and BISU handled him again in convincing fashion, making a great case for himself in this upcoming ASL. You know, we usually think of BISU as a Protoss versus Zerg specialist, but look at that, taking down Fantasy. I'm feeling better and better about BISU in ASL 16, guys. Let's jump into game number 2. All right, your game number 2 is going to be played on this wacky ladder map. It's still in the map pool for whatever reason. The ladder's just reset, and I'm shocked to see it once again in that pool. It's Nemesis. Fantasy over here in the top left. BISU in the top right, coming off of a win. Both of these games were played on the same day. That is June 11th of 2023. We'll see if BISU can handle Fantasy the way he did in that last game. Of course, Fantasy, I mean, BISU didn't look perfect by any means. Fantasy did manage to do quite a bit of early damage with those drops and run-bys with vultures, but mostly with the drops, I would say. But even though he took that damage, he still managed to take good trades against Fantasy, and tech switch to carrier was very, very well done and not punished properly by Fantasy. So riding high here, BISU, can he take another win? This is a wacky ladder map with those crazy bases that most of you already know about, but if you have not seen this map, let's go ahead and take a look here before this game really gets swinging. As you can see, there's 4 bases around the map that are similar to this. You've got assimilators and eggs in between them. If you kill the eggs, any units can fit between these assimilators. But if you kill one of the assimilators, then only small units can fit through there. And if you kill both assimilators, then only the ghost can slip between those assimilators. So this is basically an island map until you kill the eggs. And then once you kill the eggs, it's kind of an not an island map, it's an island expansion. They're open until you kill all of the assimilators, and then it's once again an island base. So there are 4 of them around the map, and in this matchup I don't think they're taken that often, but you can see Protosses for sure take that base, the bases that are kind of island-ish map on this map, and then kill the assimilators. Then it makes it impossible for you to tank push in there unless you like drop over this wall. You can also go for things like, you know, tank vulture drops on high grounds around the map are very strong, and we may see that from Fantasy this game. But I think that the availability of these island expansions favors Protoss a little bit more, because if the Terran decides to take those, they have to defend them perfectly against Reaver play, and Reavers can actually drop on the high ground and shoot the turrets on the low ground, which is super annoying. like right here, let's say that Terran takes this space, they can't build turrets up here. Oh wait, can you actually do that? I had no idea. I did not know that you could build a supply depot right there. Can you build turrets here too? I don't think you can. That would be news to me. Maybe that is a possibility. Get some damage on this bunker. And is he gonna pull those SCVs to make sure that lives? He managed to get an SCV into the main base of BISU, so he knows kind of what he's up to here, although I'm not sure if he saw that robo or not. The SCV maybe went around this side, so it could have missed it, but I'm gonna assume that he did in fact see that. We have a double machine shop, double factory here with the tank about to pop out. Immediately gonna go ahead and start to kill these simulators with a single Marine. I like this play. Again, it's not easy to take a base like this as a Terran player. So just cutting that off as a potential attack vector makes a whole lot of sense to me. I'll start to deal some damage to these goons, forcing them back, at least for now. More tanks are coming out. We don't have siege mode just yet. We're going for mass tank though. 2 more tanks are in production and 2 more immediately to follow that out. We might see some sort of a little push here, like a 5 tank push, 5 factory push. Gonna add on more factories, get up into a bunch of tanks. And then right as the factories finish, switch all production into vultures and then go across the map and try to kill. That is a potential that Fantasy has here, but a Reaver's been made. And I don't see an engineering bay. I don't see an armory. I don't see much of anything, if I'm being honest. What is this build from Fantasy right now? He is completely just let go of the possibility that there could even be a Reaver on the map. Yeah, he's gonna be sorely mistaken here. Does a little damage to that shuttle, but the Reaver's gonna pop out. Gonna back away from this. He can't really push up here. This Reaver is going to wreck you, because it can be juggled kind of infinitely and shuffled backwards over and over again. We don't have siege mode either. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Fantasy, I guess he got in there and he saw the build, but he didn't see the robo. That is the only explanation that I can come up with for why he's played it out like this. I'm gonna come out and try to throw down some mines behind this army. He knows there's no, at least there's no observer out here right now, because we've gone for such an early Reaver. Going after the Reaver there. He tries to get it. He gets a great mine connection. That mine connection may have just saved this push here for Fantasy. That mine really made the difference there. But I still don't think it's going to be enough. Tanks are finishing. Tank siege mode is finishing up. I'm shocked that we don't see this Reaver just heading across the map. We could kill so many SCVs right now, but I guess maintaining this defense is going to be paramount. He loses the Reaver. Okay. Not good. Not good. Okay, things are starting to fall apart now. He could have gone for SCV kills. He could have killed so many SCVs, but, you know, skipping over turrets completely has actually paid off in a massive way for Fantasy. Now he's gonna get in here and get on top of these tanks just in range. Oh, that actually didn't connect. Are you kidding me? All right, getting in with the vultures. All the tanks have been killed, but the vultures are still alive. Gonna be dealing some probe damage here, getting some mines on top of these dragoons as well. Not bad, not bad. Quite a few probes have gone down. We've got 4 kills on this vulture. I don't know how many on that. Probably about 2, 3. They get another probe over here. But now Fantasy does in fact have to worry about his main base. Look, we've got no turrets here. None. 0. No mines, no turrets. Absolutely open to an attack, but for whatever reason, Fantasy with the confidence to just push across the map, and assuming that BISU would be forced to respond with the reverse shuttle play. He would have to try and hold that. Actually works out okay for Fantasy here, and he's still not built turrets. Still not built turrets. It's like a gentleman's agreement has been reached between these two players that I am just not going to attack you in your main with Reaver. We're going to sit at home with these Reavers, and we are not going to do anything except defend. Some vultures making their way through those eggs finally do crack it open. Jump on top of these probes and get to work. Hungry vultures taking out a ton of straggler probes, killing off nearly all of the economy at this third base of BISU. Very, very rough situation for BISU. Again, getting put behind in the early to mid game here. And man, it's not looking good, but I can't count BISU out because he played so well in that last game and managed to claw his way back in. We cannot forget that. Starport coming up here. You can actually build on high ground. I for whatever reason, I thought you couldn't build up here, but that's my bad, guys. I really thought that this was unbuildable terrain, but now I know. We've got some assimilators going down here. BISU clearing that out, making sure that the vultures can't slip through there. So vultures actually cannot slip through here anymore. Vultures are an L-size unit. They do not slip between those assimilators, so BISU is more or less safe here for now. We could still see a drop a little later on, a drop with a tank. And some vultures can be very, very strong. Now that we've, cut this off, it's not easy to respond with dragoons. You can come from the main base, so you still got to kill these eggs. Reavers also would be the natural choice, of course, to clean that up, but you could still lose quite a few probes in the meantime while you're trying to bring the Reavers over. So that could be a situation coming up soon. No turrets up here, and not much in the main base in way of defense. Where is that Reaver shuttle? I haven't seen it for a little while. It's got to be around here somewhere, right? Did we end up losing it? Huh. There it is. Okay, never mind. We found it. We found it. Army moving out here towards the center. We do have zealot speed, but a lot of these zealots are going to get vaporized by the first tanks. Taking a couple shots with this Reaver. Needs to get a really good shot here in order to make this trade worth it. Gets a pretty decent one, but doesn't get too many tank kills with it. Tanks actually dealing quite a bit of damage here, clearing out a lot of these zealots and dragoons. So that trade from Fantasy, I believe he really came out on top there. May be able to push forward even further. He has to be a little careful, though. You do not want to be overextending with this army right now. Going into Arbiter and DT here is BISU. BISU trying to tech switch. And this time Fantasy has caught him a little bit with his pants down. He's getting caught on the other side of these pylons, being forced to engage here into a rather bad position. BISU getting his zealots right on top of these tanks, but there's enough vultures here that he'll actually be able to clean this up relatively well. Getting in between the rallies is a good move. Dragoons are not high enough, though, to just fight these tanks and vultures straight up. The tanks are going to come back and deal with that relatively easily. DT's coming out, trying to do some, get some help going, trying to help out here with the tank push. Arbiter is in the front. We will have to see continuous scans because we don't have a science vessel out, though it is in production right now. Trying his best. Oh, get one shot. No, he doesn't get the shot with the Reaver. Oh, no. BISU has blundered and will not get the shot with the Reaver. He eats another mine hit as well. Oh boy. Looks like the command center was pushed away during that chaos. I know that we did have the Reaver and Dragoon over here to shut this down, but it appears that the command center was able to escape. The Reaver was brought back only to tank some tank shots rather than actually fire any scarabs, unfortunately for BISU. But BISU staying up one base over his opponent. Oh, it needs to get back to mining. There we go, mining will resume here in the natural. Zealots in a shuttle, but Fantasy is currently ahead in supply and may be able to push for the win here shortly, although we do have, I think, a stasis ready. Yes, stasis is ready. Must have been a drop over here as well, or maybe this was from before. Not sure about that. I didn't see a drop go down at that third, but I may have missed it. We do have, of course, this starport here. This is way too big of an army. I don't think that BISU can clear this. His Dragoon count is so low. His Zealot count is low as well. First Arbiter coming out here. What is he doing? Is he going for a recall? You cannot go for recall here. He's got to get... Oh, man. We're a little bit too late, but he could get a huge stasis. Oh, my God. 6 tanks in that stasis. If he got that stasis before the battle, I think he almost may have been able to win that, but GG is called. Stasis was a bit late. I don't know what the thought process was of sending the Arbiter over here. I guess he was going to go for a recall, but you need to hold this. Take a great trade here and overwhelm that armor. Reset the army before doing something like that, because Fantasy was pushing down your front door. Anyway, BISU taps out. Fantasy takes that win. Our series is tied up 1-1, but unfortunately, that's all I have for you guys today. Fantasy has not been playing on any accounts that I'm aware of recently here, at least after the season reset. But I'm going to be keeping my eyes open for more games from him. Also, we've got plenty more games with other pro players against Fantasy. Go ahead and throw your comments down below if you'd like to see more from this Darren player. If you're sad about not seeing him in the ASL, let me know as well. I'm definitely a bit butthurt about that. I wanted to see him play, but he's got other pressing matters to attend to. I guess he's also a League of Legends coach, and that's something about that he mentioned on his channel or on his Instagram, whatever they do in Korea. That's similar to Twitter or something like that. Mentioned that he was going to be coaching some League of Legends teams. So I guess he's busy. I think we've already got plenty of very strong Terran players in the ASL though, so nothing to worry about there. It's just cool to see an old legend like this do his thing and take on these brand new players, take on the players who are strong in today's day and age. So, you know, BISU doesn't fit that category of new player, but he is definitely, you know, a contemporary star doing very well in a KCM, ASL, and other big tournaments here in the modern age. And with that, guys, this video is over. This has been your daily dose of Broodwar, and I will see you tomorrow.